Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The What It Takes Radio Company presents, on this very special day, another edition of the Interesting Ideas Podcast, and we are from the Transformation Zone today. Welcome. And this is the High Holy Day, Yom Kippur, a time to think about personal transformation. And so let's talk about how we might transform good ideas into realities, and maybe a little bit more. Yes, indeed. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Stan Houston, Stan the Radio Man. Stan, perhaps the transformation guide from time to time, and we're here with another edition of, now this is brand new name. It has been the Transformation Project, but now we are giving it a little more life and energy. It's not just a project. Now we are actually going to invite you to join us in what we call the Transformation Zone. Now, if you are old, and you have to be old to remember, though it has a wonderful younger audience, back in my days, a genius, no question a genius, by the name of Rod Serling, created a television program called The Twilight Zone. And it was certainly a work of imagination. And it had a very unique theme song. And I may try and see if I can find it and play a little bit of it during a little bit of the break. But it just simply said, we're going to talk about things that are mysterious, things we don't know about, things we're just speculating about. And it was just that. And it had a pretty significant run. It had a good following, and it has even maybe a greater following even today, even though obviously it goes back maybe 50, 60 years. Well done stuff. And that should be a lesson for us all. If you want something to last, and perhaps transform people, do it well. In effect, Rod Serling, rest in peace, has been gone for a long time, but his work, his creativity, his energy is still entertaining people, maybe challenging people, helping them to think about their lives. And boy, that's really good. That's great. And so think about that. What I am asking us to do, since we're kind of joining our Jewish tradition friends in saying this is the start of the new year, and that's what we do. This is Happy New Year. This is the days of awe, and it's coming to an end today. It's 10 of them. And from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, it is a transformation time. And we're going to enter the transformation zone. And we're going to invite you to be a part of the zone. And you also know that sometimes the term zone means that is, if you're in the zone, that means time may even kind of stand still because you are so possessed by the moment and the flow and the excellence is that you do things you didn't think possible. A basketball player who finally all of a sudden hits the range and he's hitting consistently from 3-pointers, he says, I just got into the zone. Well, we're going to try and see if we can have a few zone encounters from time to time on the program as we move forward. My friend Kevin Dooley will be joining us. He is also a part of the project and a part of the zone, and he is the illustrator. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today because he has put this together. He said, Stan, this is a draft. Let's see how it goes. Well, it's really good. And there's a story to the whole thing. But what he will do is he will now continually kind of tweak it or arrange it and do what all creative people do is they continually are saying that the work we are doing will just kind of go on and go on maybe for a long time. So the transformation zone. Now, we got into a conversation about that, and I pointed out that we are trying to make sure that we are in the world of good ideas, important ideas, interesting ideas, challenging ideas. That's what we're trying to create. Now, as some people have often said to me, well, Stan, how do you just take a good idea and make it a reality? Well, that's the challenge. It really is the challenge. Lots of good ideas. Thank goodness a lot of the bad ideas don't come to reality, but lots of good ideas die because we do not know how to take the next step. Just a brief suggestion today. First of all, if you have an idea, try and get an image of it. Make an image. Go to Canva. Make an image. I oftentimes tell people, if you want to write a book, now everybody who's writing a book has been told, don't give it a title, don't give it a cover, just write the book. Well, okay, that's what the pros say. I'm different. I say, give it a title. In fact, give it a cover and design that and put it on your desk and look at it every day as a kind of a reminder that you have a book to write, a book to keep disciplined time with. It will change. The cover will change. The title may change, but you see, an idea needs an image. And then the image needs to be incarnate. That means it has to be performed. It has to be demonstrated. It has to be lived out. And that means, incarnate means it's in person. The whole thing is not just in the mind, not just in the image, it is in a person. And they begin to become a living part or a living expression of the idea. Well, that's a good thing to think about. So I would just let that, as I often say, just kind of sit on your head for a while, kind of stir your mind and see what comes forth. That's right. The transformation zone. And as we say, it's not just a podcast, it's a conversation. And that means your idea. Now that you've incarnated it, talk about it. Share it with others. See what they say. Make it a point of conversation. I've oftentimes have said to people when people are saying, well, how's work going? How's your day going? And you should probably say, well, I'm writing a book. Well, people don't just let that drop. They'll say, oh, you are? Well, what's it about? Okay, you've just started a conversation. Think about those things. You want to have a good year, a better year, maybe a great year, maybe the best year ever. Well, right now, use this time to transform your thinking and start coming up with the ideas from your own mind, heart, and spirit. See if you can find a way to illustrate them. Give them an image. Begin to incarnate them. And then, of course, have a conversation about them. If you do that, you've taken one of the steps into the transformation zone. That's it for today, except we have my friend Joe, who is writing the book on transformations, and he has a request. And that will be next, after the break.
You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. Your next stop, the Twilight Zone.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we spent a little time in the transformation zone. And the question, of course, is during this weekend, this Yom Kippur Day for many of our friends in the Jewish tradition, which says, hey, it's time for the year ahead to be a different one. Maybe you're going to change a little bit. Maybe you're going to change a lot. Or maybe, just maybe, this will be the year in which you experience a transformation. That's what we're here for. That's why we have the Transformation Zone. And that's why we have with us the Transformation Zone guru. This is Joseph Pine, who obviously is a part of this project as he is writing the book. And he's asked you to be a part of the book. And so, Joe, you have a request, correct?
Yes, Dan. So first of all, I appreciate being on the Transformation Zone. I appreciate even more with you helping me with my book. All right. For those who don't know, Stan's been helping me gather stories and I can use in the book or use elsewhere in my presentations, work with clients, and so forth. And so my request is simply, do you have a story that you can share with Stan? And then he can share with me as he elucidates that and gathers it from you. Basically, I'm looking for many different types of transformations, many ways in which people are transforming in small ways, in large ways, but always in lasting ways. Right? It's not truly a transformation unless it's sustained through time. And I'm writing not at a personal level about how you can transform, although there are elements of that in the book, and people can gain a lot of value in that way. But I'm writing from a business perspective and what businesses can do to help their customers transform. Right? Those customers have an aspiration, and what a transformation is when a company helps the customer achieve that aspiration. Right, and the economic function is guide. Right, is they guide you to achieve the aspiration. You do the work yourself. Right, you are the one who actually transforms, but a company can guide you in being able to do that. So, do you have stories of that, and not just personal stories? In fact, what I'm probably looking for most is business stories. Right, business to business transformation, or employee transformation, or organizational transformation, but also community transformation, where it's not just individual, but entire communities. Which you include organizations, those, but outside of those as well. There are opportunities there to think about how communities change over time. We often see communities change not for the better, but are there ways to turn that around and become better in some meaningful way. So those are the stories I'm looking for, and Stan's the man to share them with.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm basically a slightly overeducated disc jockey, so I love hearing stories and telling stories to other people, and I love to hear stories. So here we go. Very simple. Stan Hustad, StanHustad at gmail.com. StanHustad@gmail.com. And we may have a conversation. You may just send it to me. We may decide that, hey, you maybe have a story for the Transformation Zone, and then we'll actually invite you to be on the radio. Who knows? This could be your big moment. So we'll see how that goes. So thank you very much, Joe. Anything else you want to add to that? Remember, StanHustad@gmail.com.
Yeah, I would just add that there are no guarantees that I'll use the story, put them in the book and that, but I always appreciate them. And even if I don't use it, it can change my views, change how I think about transformations, open up new opportunities, new ways of thinking about it. And so I always appreciate that as well. So if people have thoughts too, in general about transformations, I would include that as well.
Very good. And here's what I will also guarantee you. Just the fact that you actually told the story and thought about it and reflected on it might actually change you. Who knows? That might be a little bit of the magic when you're in the Transformation Zone. So till next time. Hey, Joe, thank you very much. Bye for now.